Hey everybody, I'm Evan.
And I'm Grayson.
And here we are again with our continuing series where we're counting down our top three games.
Of every letter in the alphabet.
Yeah, every letter of the alphabet.
Today is the Kooky K's.
Yeah, Kooky K's. Finally made it to the K's. Mm-hmm. Sometimes I think this show has taken us a while to get down the alphabet, but that's okay because we're going to make it to Z eventually. But yeah, today's K. So, who's going first?
How about, I'll do it.
Ooh, okay. Mixing it up.
So my first one, my number 3 is King's Critters.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's like a pretty small game. We have it in a bag, a little bag.
It is. It's by a Victory Point game, so they do a lot of bag games. At least they used to.
Basically, what you're doing is you move around this board, trying to collect these like critters, because the king's animals of the king's animals from his zoo got out.
Right.
Yeah. So you're basically going around collecting the critters because the king will rewarding you for catching those critters.
You're rounding them back up because there's a dragon that's trying to.
Yeah, the dragon doesn't want you to steal his critters.
Well, they're the king's critters, and the dragon is trying to kidnap him to eat them. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Either the dragon's trying to help him not let them being them encaged, or they're trying to eat, or he's trying to eat them.
Okay.
I don't know. But yeah, the funniest part about this game is it comes with this die. So you know how dice are probably about this big? It's this big.
We've never used that to play the game.
It's absolutely tiny.
It is the world's smallest die.
So funny.
I mean, it's a pretty fun game. It is a roll and move game.
It's a short game too.
It is definitely a kids game.
Yeah. It's still a fun time to play it though.
There's a lot of, even though it's roll and move, there's a lot of different paths you can go on.
Yeah, there's still strategy even though it is roll and move.
And there's cards that flip up depending on the spaces that you're on. So that's not too bad. I mean, we played a lot of that when you were younger. And
it's still fun. Maybe it doesn't get to the table as often, but it's still pretty fun.
Okay, well I'm glad you still like it. Yeah, all right. King's Critters. That was a shock that you picked that. I didn't expect that.
Well, what is your number 3?
My number 3. All right. So I got 3 games that are pretty simple games, right? These are pretty simple but solid games to me. So number 3 is it has monsters in it.
Okay, got it.
Because who doesn't like monsters, right? And who doesn't like monsters fighting? Because it's King of Tokyo. Yeah. King of Tokyo is a dice game where you have these giant monster standees, and it's basically Yahtzee with King of the Hill inside Tokyo.
Yeah, we also have a ton of different monsters.
Right, so I've collected
a ton of expansions.
I've collected a lot of the promos and expansions and stuff. But basically, you're rolling dice, looking for combinations to either attack the other monsters or to just get victory points, or some of those hearts that heal. And you're either trying to stay in Tokyo or trying to knock the monster out of Tokyo.
You can get power cards.
Yeah, so it definitely plays better if you have the power-up expansion.
Yeah, there's tons of expansions that make it a little better.
Yeah, I mean, they make it basically, they just add more of the same, honestly. But
true, but it makes it, the power-up expansion is probably one of the best expansions that you can get.
Yeah, because otherwise you're just, all the monsters are the same, but if you have the power-up expansion,
if you roll,
you get to draw some extra cards.
I think I don't remember, but if you roll something of...
It's 3 hearts.
3 hearts, yeah. You get a power-up card which will give you a bonus.
Yeah, either a one-time use or an ongoing ability. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, so I don't know, King of Tokyo, I feel like that's a pretty popular game that everybody knows. So yeah, dice rolling, it can just be a good fun time. Now my number 3, King of Tokyo.
So my number 2 is Karuba.
Wait, want to know something? My number 2 is also Karuba.
Okay. Yeah.
So we sync up on that one. Go ahead.
Okay. Well, so Karuba is it's simple, but it can be used in different ways. So basically there's this one person that has this stack of tokens. And
shuffled face down.
They draw the tokens, and then everyone else has all theirs face up, and you find that token.
Right. So it's a bingo mechanism, right? Somebody calls out the tile, and then what do you get to do with that tile?
You place it on your board, which creates paths for your dude to walk on, or if maybe that path sucks, which some do.
Or it doesn't work on how you're configuring your board.
Then you're able to waste that token to make the guy move.
Right. So if you back up a little bit, there's a board where There's explorers or adventurers on one end, and then like treasures on the other end,
Like
temples and
temples.
treasures. Yeah. So you got to get your guys, your people.
Your different colored people
Yep.
to the same
to the correct
colored
one. Yep.
temple.
So you got to get across the board using those path tiles. And when you draw a card, you either or a tile, you either move, place it down, or move the guy that many spaces. The spaces that there are exits on the tile, right?
Yes.
Yep. And there's also some crystals and some gems along the way.
Yep, and
that are
we
points.
there's a expansion for, like is it a promo?
It's like a
for-
promo expansion,
for,
yeah.
For the it's a volcano. So if you ever get that, basically you place the volcano in the middle of your board, and to move across it, they need 2.
To move past it, because you
Yeah.
can't actually move into that space.
Yes.
It just makes the board set up a little bit different for every single
Yeah.
person, but yeah. It's not something we always throw in there. But
And also, a possible way to do it is if you want more than 4 players, just buy a second copy.
yeah, we actually do have 2 copies, so we can play 8 players.
Yep.
Yeah, Karuba. Yeah, that's my number 2, and that's a pretty fun game. Yeah, solid game.
So what is your? Oh wait, yeah, you did your number 2. So
That was my number 2. Yes.
My number 1 is actually King of Tokyo.
Okay.
Because, I mean, it was definitely going to be on my list.
Yeah.
Because it's a really fun game where either you're the monster trying to go into Tokyo or to get points, or you're trying to like basically kill all the other monsters.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, because that's the way to win. Is to at least get 20 points. Or to be the last one
Be
standing.
the last one standing. Yeah. Funny story. We have King of New York, but we've never actually played it.
Yeah,
We've only just taken the monsters from it to play it in King of Tokyo. I don't know. For some reason, I've just never felt the need to play King of New York.
because it's kind of just like amplified.
Yeah, there's more stuff. I don't know. There's buildings and stuff, but honestly, whatever. We'll
Yeah.
just use those monsters in the other game
Yep.
because they have power up cards for those too. So yeah. So that was your number 1.
Yeah.
King of Tokyo. All right. My number 1 is a game you've never played. And I kind of bounce back and forth between Karuba being my number 1 and this being my number 1.
Well, what is it?
It's a solitaire game.
Ah.
Do you know what I'm talking about? I played a lot. It's probably like my most played solitaire game, and it's called Karen and the Pirate Island. Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen you play that a few
Yeah,
times.
and I played it more than a few times. I played it quite a few times.
Yeah.
So it's a really small like deck building game where you play Karen. It's an actually Japanese game, so I'm not sure why her name is Karen, but it is. So you're shipwrecked on this island that is full of pirates, and you have to survive the island. So basically, you're like thematically, you're like walking around the island, with every card, like every challenge that you try to overcome. Okay. And then when you like, it's a deck building game, so then you have to flip over so many cards and see if you can overcome that challenge. And then when you beat the challenge, you get that card. That card goes into your deck. So like obviously those are better cards, but sometimes the challenges are really hard, so you have to skip those and you lose health points. So it can be really hard because you only have a certain amount of health points because you spend health points to draw more cards, and it can spiral out of control pretty quickly when there's like, oh, of course I can beat this, and then you just keep drawing bad cards. But of course, as like any deck building game, there's extra cards that allow you to like get the bad cards out.
Yeah,
But yeah, it's real simple, real easy. Basically, just one deck of cards that is split between like starting cards and then like a little health tracker. And that's called Karen and the Pirate Island. I don't know. I have a really good time with it because it's real easy to like just set up, kick out a game.
Yeah. Okay.
Hopefully I can defeat the pirates. And
Have you ever won?
A couple times, like 2 or 3 times maybe.
Out of like the 20 times you've played.
20 plus, yeah. It's okay though, because it's easy just to set it up and try again. Yeah, so I don't know. Karen and the Pirate Island is my number 1 game that starts with the letter K.
K. The kooky K's.
Yeah, super. I don't think they were all that kooky.
But
Maybe monsters fighting in Tokyo is kind of kooky.
yeah,
I don't know.
and maybe there's kooky monsters and King's Critters.
There definitely is kooky looking monsters in King's
Yeah.
Critters. All right, well, hey, that's it. That's our top 3 games that start with K.
So next up is the next letter.
What comes after K? It's L.
L.
Yeah, L should be a pretty fun one. So if you want to tune back in
Loopy L's.
and check that one out when it goes up in sometime in the near future.
Yeah, we have a few other series which you can check out too, like where we get rid of we take a look at some of our games, and see if we want to keep them or not.
Yeah. That'd be fantastic if you checked out other stuff on this channel. Thank you for the plug, Grayson. All right, I guess we'll see you next time, everybody.
Bye. Today, I'm going to be interviewing my K games.
What are you doing?
I don't know.